You can't lose dumb games. What's a dumb game? Well, tonight.
You are Locked On A's, your daily Oakland A's podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, A's fans. Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which is your team every day. This is the daily podcast. We talk about your Oakland A's all season long. I am your host, Paul Francis Sullivan. If you don't believe me, let me just show you. Got a lower third called Sully. I'm the host of Locked On A's and the host of Locked On MLB, as you can see right there. So you get 10 episodes of your pal Sully every single week. Follow us at Locked On MLB Pods on Twitter or whatever it's called now, and on Instagram. I'm your pal Sully. I'm at Sully Baseball on Twitter, Sully Baseball Podcast on Instagram. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Today was dumb, and the day before was dumb. And there were two dumb losses. The A's won the first game against Tampa Bay, and then came right out on Tuesday in front of not the biggest crowd you could have, but hey, for about 4,500 really passionate A's fans. And Joey Estes pitched his freaking heart out. He did everything he could. He pitched into the eighth inning and let up a solo home run to Jose Siri, his 15th home run. No shame in letting up a home run to Jose Siri. Not that he's a great player, but he has some pop. All right? You held Tampa Bay to one freaking run over 7 1/3 innings, and there you go. Normally, we'd be talking about what a great game that was, how well it was pitched, and everything like that. But no. Shane Baz came out on Tuesday, pitched into shut up on the eighth. And Edwin Uceta, who going into the game on Tuesday had as many major league saves as me, got a multi-inning save, an inning and a third, to lock it up. Now, Edwin Uceta is a classic Tampa Bay Ray pitcher. If you go to baseballreference.com, the single greatest website in the history of planet Earth, you will see that this is Edwin Uceta's fourth year in the major leagues. 2021, he pitched 14 games for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Didn't pitch very well. His ERA was 6.64, 2 away from the devil. And then he played for Arizona in 2022. He pitched in 10 games, and his ERA was in the 5s. Now, in 2023, he pitched for the Mets and had an ERA of 0. I should make a, how do I say this? A caveat to that. He pitched in one game, threw 3 shutout innings, but one game. And was basically a minor league pitcher who looks like 3 years in his career has been bounced around. He was selected off waivers, was released by the Cubs, who he didn't even play a major league game with. So naturally, he signs with the Rays and has pitched 19 innings with a sub-1 ERA. I do not know how the Rays do this. I do have a theory. And this requires you to understand that your pal Sully, that's me, I have a mild obsession with 1980s movies. The movie Cocoon was a movie that took place where there's this swimming pool in this strange house, and a bunch of people from a retirement community sneak out of the retirement community and swim in the swimming pool. And one day they see there are these weird sort of rock-like things, and the older people go in there. When they come out, they're rejuvenated. They're young. They feel young again. They feel strong again. And it turns out those are cocoons from extraterrestrials who have a magical power. And so when you go swimming in the swimming pool, you come out stronger and healthier than ever. Cocoon took place in Central Florida. In fact, one of the characters is wearing a Tampa Bay Buccaneers shirt. The film was made in the mid-1980s, so the Rays didn't exist then. What I'm saying is maybe the movie Cocoon is real, and when you come to Central Florida, you swim in the Cocoon pool, and if you are a Edwin Uceta, you're a journeyman pitcher who suddenly comes out and throws a great save. I know that theory doesn't make any sense, but neither does a guy who's had 3 nondescript seasons in the major leagues coming out pitching like he's the second coming of Raleigh Fingers. He pitched an inning and a third for the save, for his first major league save. Do you know how many pitches he threw for his inning and a third save? Do you have any pitches? Do you have any? 9. He got 4 outs on 9 pitches. And in that 9th inning, when I'm like, okay, it's 1-0. Here we go. We got Rooker. We got Blade. We got Andujar. Rooker pops up on the first pitch. Blade strikes out on 4 pitches. And Andujar on the second pitch grounds out. Great. Nice attack. Okay, it's a 4-game series. They won the first game. All right, fine. It stinks, though. I have to say it stinks when you win the first game and you lose the second. Because immediately when it was 0-0 going to the 8th, I'm thinking, all right. The A's are going to go on a rally here, and they're going to be up 2-0. And then I'm thinking they could win 3 out of 4. Hell, they may sweep a 4-game series. This is delicious. All right. In a way, you have to tip your cap. In a way, you can't get too upset by what happened because you can't ask for more than Estes. And when you have Shane Baz, who, by the way, only threw 92 pitches going to the 8th inning, when he pitches a brilliant game like he did, sometimes you got to tip the old cap. It happens. But then the dumbness and a couple other things too. There was a couple other things that made me a little mad about today. And I'm not going to get too deep into some of the stuff happening around it, but let's just say you should never learn the names of the umpires. And sadly tonight, we got to know their names. Hey, we got a new friend, a new sponsor, and that's Tonal. Let me tell you something. I've had my ups and downs with my workouts. I've had some periods of times where I've gotten myself in really good shape, and then there's times like right now where I'm not. But you know what? When life gets busy, fitting in a workout could be, stressful. But with Tonal, you get efficient workouts personalized just for you and are available for the amount of time that you have. How often do you not exercise because, I don't have the time, I have time to go to the gym, I don't have time to do that. Even the most dedicated gym goers struggle with consistency. The commute, waiting for the weights, waiting for other people to sweat. It makes skipping a workout very tempting. But Tonal lets you choose from thousands of workouts to train in a way that you actually enjoy at home. Look, Tonal is the world's smartest and most effective strength training system that helps get you stronger. It's powered by AI. Tonal learns with every rep. It can also deliver workouts personalized just for you. Tonal learns from your movement and provides suggested weight recommendations for every move with detailed progress reports. They even create personal program and workout suggestions or recommendations based on your individual goals. My individual goals, they're not about, I don't want to look like a great bodybuilder or anything like that. I want to just feel better in my clothes and feel better about how I look and feel. And this is just like having a personal trainer at home, as Tonal will optimize every workout for your goals. And unlike traditional gym equipment, Tonal uses adaptive digital weight to advance your training techniques. And from professional athletes to a mom of 3 to your pal Sully, Tonal is trusted by thousands who have become their strongest. So right now, Tonal is offering your listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Tonal code. That's Tonal, Tonal, N-A-L, so easy for you to say, .com. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $200 off your purchase. Tonal.com. Promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $200 off. Tonal. Hey, let's get in shape. Hey, thanks so much for making Locked On A's your first listen. Now, for your second listen to more of me, your pal Sully, at Locked On MLB Podcast. I'm going to give you the national look at baseball with my point of view, which sometimes is serious and sometimes is a little bit of fun. I'm going to get ready for the Major League Baseball playoffs here in the dog days of summer. Prepare for the Fall Classic with me. I've got it covered every single day on Locked On MLB, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. All right, I'm not going to go through the play-by-play here, but, they got the home run from Bleday. From Bleday, and that was great. And they're up 1-0 going to the fifth. And then, obviously, you have they tie it up on a DeLuca force out, but there was the Diaz double to center field past Bleday that gave the Rays the lead. But then, Rooker ties it up, and I'm thinking, okay, cool. Then Siri's back. Oh, I hate you, Siri. But there was just a bunch of things. So first of all, we got to know the name of the home plate umpire because of a couple of things. In case you're wondering who the home plate umpire was, it was Brock Ballou. Brock Ballou. Lee Marvin was great in Brock Ballou. Yeah. There was a hit by pitch that wasn't a hit by pitch because I think it was Caballero. Yeah, that's right. Caballero was hit by a pitch, but the ump said he didn't try to get out of the way of it. And Kevin Cash head exploded in a scene from Scanners. And then later on, he was walked and then came around on the home run by Siri. And then there was the play, and this was, to me, it just seemed like is it just me, or the last couple of days, the last bunch of losses that the A's have had, the loss to San Francisco, the loss today, seems to be a bunch of times where the A's are leaving the bases loaded. I'm getting a little tired of that. I'm getting a little tired of seeing the bases loaded and them getting piddly poo out of it. And frankly, this may sound like I'm nitpicking here a little bit, but I honestly don't think I am. Okay, listen to me and listen to me well. Okay, you have in the seventh inning, Geloff singles. Okay, and wait, am I thinking of a different inning, or am I thinking about the eighth? Hold on, I think I may be thinking about the eighth inning. What was there was the moment. Oh, well, let me just go here for a second, because there was I'm sorry, I have the play-by-play in front of me, and I'm just remembering what's going on here. So you had the moment when, yes, here it is. Forgive me. Okay. Nevin got on base because of an error. Okay. Then Geloff hit the ball to right field. Now, it's and in that play, Tyler went from second to third, because Tyler Nevin was on second with on the error. So Geloff hits the fly ball line drive to right field. This sounds nitpicky, but I could see that ball was going to drop. And it did. Now, it may be different on the field. And you may say, oh, the right field could have been a great play. But he has to score on that play. He just has to score. He's got to make it 4-3. because this is a problem sometimes with the A's and some of their losses this year. They're relying too much on the home run and the long ball. They have to be a little more aggressive. You can't have that inning where they walk away with no runs, where they're given a gift and then they're given a gift and now have a hit with a runner in scoring position. And, I understand Tyler Nevin is he's not Ricky Henderson. Okay. But he has to be able to score from freaking second base on a base hit to right, because they have to walk away with at least a run that inning. You have to at least chip it away. You would last have to have it so the tying run's coming to the plate at all points during the game. Now, of course, Rooker strikes out with the bases loaded, and then you have the ridiculous Andujar play, which still makes me angry. But still, you got to be able to get that run in, make it a one-run game. Now, of course, what happened in the eighth inning is just absurd. And it was the right play. I'm not saying it was wrong. It's absurd that it even happened. Andujar gets an infield hit, and he dropped his helmet. So he walked back to get his helmet. But he turned to the left instead of the right. If Andujar just turned to the right, the play would be dead. But because he turned to the left, it could be interpreted that he was trying to go to second. You learned that in Little League, folks. And Andujar is a smart player. He's a veteran. Just turn to the right, and all of a sudden the A's have a runner on first with one out and the tying run coming to the plate. But instead, he gets it was an alert play by the Rays to see that he was walking over to pick up his helmet, but turned to the left. And with that comes the death of a rally. And I knew at that moment that was it. We're done. We're done. It's over. It's done. Forget about it. Get a cab. And it was 4-2. They were doubled up. So they play a day game tomorrow. This 4-game series is going to come to a halt. And the A's are lucky. The A's are lucky that the Angels lost. So they're still tied in the cellar with the Angels. But the Rangers won a thriller against Pittsburgh. So, if the goal is to get to the Rangers, the Angels have helped out the A's by dropping 7 of their last 10, and the A's have won 6 of their last 10. So it's not like the A's are falling like a rock, but good Lord, if they won one of these 2 dumb games, they could be thinking about winning a 3-game series against the Rays team that isn't that bad, a winning team. Now you got Beto pitching tomorrow against Springs. And Springs is one of those pitchers who could very well have been dunked in the pool from Cocoon. But you got to at least split this series. That'll take some of the sting out of the dumb games before the A's wind up welcoming the Brewers. And the Brewers are a good team. The Brewers are 20 games above 500. And that is going to be no walk in the park. By the way, in case you're keeping score, the Mariners lost again today. They were doubled up by Los Angeles. Remember, the Mariners had a 10-game lead in the division? They're now even 500. The Astros may be the only team to finish above 500 in the whole freaking division. But there we go. Get a chance to split the series and maybe take a little sting out of it. When we come back, I'm going to pay tribute to someone who was born on this day many years ago and is an example of the type of player who may not reach legendary status and sadly may not be in anyone's memory because of teams that move around. All right, let's hear a little bit from our friends over at Supply House. You know what Supply House is? Well, you better know what Supply House is. Supply House is the place where you can get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trade. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, h-vac, electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands. Get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert solution with industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skill trade, you get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. Today's episode of Locked On A's is brought to you by our good friends at Game Time. Now, you know what Game Time is. It is an ideal site to go get your tickets for ball games, for theater, for whatever. And now, Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filter through the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of other tickets. And Game Time has a 50% off Labor Day offer for Dodgers and Diamondbacks for those of you are in that region. So what you need to do is use your Game Time pick. The curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, and theater, all in pricing. And to toggle the feature, and it shows you a total up front. No surprise fees at checkout. Seat views, you get a panoramic view of your seat in the app before you buy, and the lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time ticket coverage, that shows you your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the tickets industry. Take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets. The lowest prices. They are guaranteed. Hey, this is a reminder to check out the other show hosted by your pal Sully, and that is Locked On MLB. Prepare for the Fall Classic with me, and I've got it covered every single day. You could find the link at Locked On MLB in the description, so you don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. You know, they had the recent Hall of Fame inductions for the A's, which includes stars from Oakland, but also from Philadelphia and from Kansas City. Not a lot from Kansas City. But what happens when a team moves and a team bounces around a bit is the legends from one city kind of get forgotten. Jimmy Fox and Lefty Grove are two of the greatest stars in the history of the A's, and Connie Mack could be the greatest figure in A's history. But they're from Philadelphia. They have no connection to Oakland other than the team, but they didn't win those games for Oakland. So when a team moves around, some names can get lost in the undertow. We remember the Hall of Famers. I mentioned Fox, Grove, whether it's a Rube Waddell or a Mickey Cochran. Some of those may be known by some baseball fans. But then there are the people who were the unexpected heroes, or the people who are just good, solid major leaguers who get lost to time. If they stayed put, perhaps they'd be remembered in some montage. You remember whenever the Yankees talk about their great championships, they'll bring up players from the 20s or 30s. But it's tough to do that for A's fans because there's not a lot left in Philadelphia. And the championships won in Philadelphia don't mean a lot to the people in Oakland. On this day in 1889, 100 years before the A's won the Bay Bridge Series, Wally Schang was born. He was born in New York State. He was a catcher who became part of one of the great A's teams in the 1910s. In fact, he made his debut in 1913 and became the starting catcher, or one of their starting catchers, and started in 4 of the 5 games of the 1913 World Series against the New York Giants, and had a fantastic series. He wound up batting .357 with an OPS of 1.152. He homered and drove in 7 runs in the 5-game series and helped clinch the World Series title in New York to help the A's wind up winning the series in 5 games. He caught the final game, which was a complete game by Eddie Plank, and along the way added yet another hit for the A's victory. And with that, he wound up, the A's won the World Series. He was part of the A's championship or trip to the World Series the very next season, but that was kind of a shadowy team, the 1914 A's. They won the pennant and were heavily favored to win the World Series against the Boston Braves, but got swept. And there's more than one person who has whispered that maybe, just maybe, that series wasn't played on the level. Now, Wally Schang at that point was the starting catcher for the A's. And in that World Series, well, he didn't have a great series. Now, along the way, he bounced around a bit. He was traded to the Red Sox and later to the Yankees, and wound up winning World Series titles with the Philadelphia A's, the 1918 Red Sox, and the 1923 New York Yankees, playing alongside Babe Ruth in both 1918 and with his 3 pennants and 1 title with the Yankees. Eventually, he came back to the A's in 1930, where he was the backup catcher, and picked up another World Series title for his troubles. He later went on to be a minor league manager in several different teams. He played in nearly 1,900 games. He got 1,500 hits. And Bill James ranked him the 20th all-time of major league catchers based upon his ability to be a great defensive catcher, his solid hitting, and the fact that he was constantly catching World Series champions. He did not get elected to the Hall of Fame. He didn't make much of a dent in the times that he was on the ballot, but he picked up 4 World Series rings for his troubles with 3 different franchises. And as a rookie, was a key member of the 1913 World Series champions. If you go to a game in Oakland, you'll see some of those flags flapping, where you have 1910, 1911, 1913, 1929, 1930. Those are the World Series titles won in Philadelphia. Chances are you don't notice them. Or if you do, you just shrug and you just sort of say, well, that's a relic from another time. One of those flags is up there, and no small reason was Wally Schang, who, if they gave out World Series MVPs, which they didn't back then, he would have made a compelling case to be the World Series MVP in 1913. You drive in 7 runs and have astonishingly great slash line in a 5-game series, alongside Hall of Famers like Eddie Collins or Home Red Baker. Or you also saw Chief Bender, another Hall of Famer, get 2 complete game victories. Eddie Plank, another Hall of Famer, pitched well in his 2 games. There's a lot of Hall of Famers on that team. And Wally Schang was one of the people who shone the most in that series. Chances are you've never heard his name. Chances are you'll forget his name in a couple of days. But on this day, in 1889, an A's World Series hero was born. And even though he didn't do it for the good folks of Oakland, I think he's worth remembering. So, rest in peace, Mr. Schang, on this, which would have been your birthday. So, tomorrow we're going to go over the final game. Hopefully the A's have split with the Rays before they set up the Brewers series, which is going to be no picnic. So, follow us at Locked On A's on Twitter, whatever it's called now. And you can follow me. I'm your pal Sully at Sully Baseball on Twitter, Sully Baseball Podcast on Instagram. Lamenting dumb losses and saluting an A's champion. This has been Locked On A's for the 22nd day of August 2024. I'm your host, Paul Francis Sullivan. Please call me Sully.